Greetings, Fright Nights and Monster Girls. I'm Count Jackula.
And I'm the Horror Guru.
And we just saw SiREN. Alright, so I want to open this up by telling you a little bit of the saga of me fucking getting this movie for us to watch. So today it was supposed to hit limited theaters, and as far as I can tell, limited meant 2. In all
it can.
It
Limited can sometimes mean 1.
Yeah, there is 1 theater in LA and 1 theater in New York that's playing this damn thing.
Limited needs to at least mean 100 or something.
It should at least mean like 50.
Yeah.
Like more than 1 by a bunch as opposed to another 1. So I was like, 2. Yeah, so I was like, all right, so it's also supposed to be on VOD. That is a fucking lie. That is a liar that lies.
Turns out VOD is a very vague term because there's different VOD platforms.
Yeah.
You know, there's video on demand itself, which I believe is like a Comcast thing.
Yeah.
There's Amazon Instant, which is its own thing. There's iTunes, which is another thing. And then there's what you discovered.
Yeah. So, video on demand apparently also includes Redbox. So, motherfucker,
shouldn't that just count as rental?
Redbox. I fucking went to a fucking Redbox to rent this goddamn movie. Now, luckily, what you can do with Redbox is you can go, I'm looking for a movie on the Redbox website, and you go, which Redboxes have this, and they will tell you.
Never let it be said they don't have customer service.
That's true.
Despite being a machine.
Despite being a fucking box that gives you DVD. Can't even get Blu-rays out of a Redbox. You know, so this is a fucking DVD. Which I'm like, all right, that'll do just so I can watch the goddamn movie because I have been waiting for this for fucking ever. But this is not adding up to a good equation. Like, everything about this is saying that I am going to watch this movie and then I'm going to be like,
Yeah, it's been 4 or 3 years because it was either 2013 or 2012 VHS came out, right?
yeah, VHS was 2012.
Okay, so it's been 4 years.
Yeah, it's been 4 years.
Yeah.
And then they announced it like 6 months later in 2013.
Yeah.
And so I've been waiting for this for a while.
Back when David Bruckner, the original director of Amateur Night, was involved.
Yeah.
But then eventually Gregg Bishop, the guy who did Dance of the Dead, eventually took over.
Yeah. The story behind that was basically while this thing was in pre-production, he got attached to do the sequel to the Friday the 13th remake, which didn't happen.
Yeah, that happened.
So he didn't direct this one. It's done by Gregg Bishop.
Yeah.
And that made me really worried because I was like, I really liked what the original director did, so I didn't want them to change it.
And you can really tell by looking at this movie, its tone and all the things it does story-wise, it is a different direction than Amateur Night originally
Oh, yeah,
was.
it's a very different movie.
Like, they even changed the monster a bit in this.
Yes.
Not completely towards, like, indistinguishable, but they add some things.
Well, yeah, it's the same actress. It's the same basic idea.
Mm-hmm.
She still does the things that you would expect her to do. She says, I like you.
I don't think it's a spoilers to say she's still basically a succubus. Cause
Yeah.
That if you're watching this, you probably want to know about Amateur Night, and she was a succubus in that, so that movie's 4 years old.
Yeah, and she's basically the same character. All right, so the quick capsule review is we actually liked it.
Yeah. This is surprisingly good, and it's especially surprising because that trailer didn't make it look very good.
No, that trailer looked like shit.
One of the things the trailer doesn't get across at all is this movie's actually got a really good sense of humor.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because Gregg Bishop also did Dance of the Dead, which was a nice zombie horror comedy.
Yeah.
And this actually transferred some of that humor into this movie, which you didn't get in the trailer.
No. You got the feeling that there was going to be some humor, but in the trailer it really doesn't work.
It does not come across as well as it does in the actual movie.
Yeah. In the movie, it actually works.
Mm-hmm.
You know, right down to the dumb shit the 4 guys do in the trailer works in the movie, but doesn't work in the trailer.
Yeah. But what's interesting is because the reason why it doesn't work in the trailer is because there's a point in the movie where these guys, all before they go off on this bachelor adventure, where they take mushrooms.
Yeah.
So in the trailer, you're seeing them do all this stuff and act all weird and stuff, and so it just seems like bad acting, but it's actually they're high.
Yeah, the idea is that they're actually tripping balls while this is all going on.
Exactly, and that makes a world of difference.
It does. It does. Like, the basic setup here is guy's on a bachelor party. His brother is in charge of the bachelor party. They go to this fucking nowhere middle of fucking like Louisiana.
I forget what they called it. It was like Garden City.
Garden City.
Something like that.
You know, some nondescript town.
Obviously, it was like we couldn't afford Vegas or Reno, so
yeah. You know, and they make a joke about that.
Yeah.
Then they get to the strip club. It blows. They're not having a good time, but they're there with their buddies, so everything's fine. And that dude comes up and he's like, "Hey, you want to know what the real action is? Follow me." So they follow him.
Mm-hmm. And they drop mushrooms beforehand.
Yeah.
Because following a guy in a car while tripping on mushrooms is smart.
That is a great idea.
That's a great time right there.
Yeah.
Don't do it, kids.
No.
Drop your mushrooms, but don't do that.
Well, don't fucking, like, dropping mushrooms and driving in and of itself presents a problem. You know?
Drop mushrooms responsibly is what we're saying.
Yeah. Fucking do it in your house, find a grove in the middle of the fucking woods, like, you know, fucking hang out. Hell, you could probably even do it at a theme park, be okay.
It's similar rules to alcohol, you know? You don't want to get behind the wheel when you've
Don't operate heavy machinery, and cars are heavy machinery, okay?
Yeah.
You know,
just that's the safe way to do it. Just stick to that.
Yeah, but it sets up that these guys are purposefully being a little reckless.
Yes. Well, the entire point at the beginning that the brother establishes that we're all going to say yes to whatever adventure, you know, awaits.
Yeah.
You know,
and they start out, they mean like yes to a lap dance, but they extend it to everything that happens to them over the course of the story.
Yes.
And, okay, so obviously they get there. It is a monster girl whorehouse run by a guy who is very obviously supposed to look like Tom Six.
Oh, totally. Played by the kind of meathead bully guy from Dance of the Dead.
Yeah.
Which I didn't recognize him in the trailer, but I totally recognized him once he showed up.
Well, he's
on
playing
screen
a totally different character.
Exactly.
Like, you don't recognize
Plus,
him at all.
the hat and the goatee completely covers a lot of facial features.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. And he's one of the best characters.
Oh, God, he is amazing in this movie. Like, he is introduced in the most amazing way in this movie. We'll get to that when we get to the spoilers, because his introduction, like, that's the moment where I'm like, oh, maybe this movie will be good.
Yeah. Yeah, and so there, he agrees to let them in, and one of the guys discovers Lilly. And that's where the plot happens.
Yep.
You know? Okay, so things I really liked about the movie that's not really spoiler territory. I was a little bit worried about some of the additions to Lilly because they gave her this tail, and it's very obviously CGI.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a good effect. It's not a good effect at all.
No, it didn't detract as much as I thought it would. But
yeah, I was afraid it was going to be
definitely not the best effect.
No, it's not. But the thing that did work is the redo of her makeup. Like when she's actually like in fucking monster face. You know? That looked great.
That looked absolutely fine. And we got to see her in more of it in this than we did in Amateur Night because she has more monster time in this.
Yeah, she does. She does. We get to she flies in this one as well.
They add a lot of stuff with that tail too that we'll go into later.
Yeah, because some of the stuff with the tail is spoilers.
Yeah.
She does fly. We do get to see her with her wings.
Yeah, we actually get to see her pick someone up at one point.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was something that they were able to do that was, I thought, really necessary, because I'm like, if we're not going to go with the found footage, cinema verite, it's real, really happening kind of thing, we might as well just go creature feature.
Absolutely, and this very much is, they do adapt moments from the short loosely in the movie, but it really goes in a different direction with all of them.
Yeah. First of all, like, the 4 guys in this one are way more sympathetic.
Oh, God, yeah. They're actually legitimately decent dudes. You know, like, and they all have something that humanizes them.
Yeah.
You know, you have the brother who's kind of the party animal, but his one, like, piece of pure humanity is the fact that, like, he wants his brother to have a good time.
Yeah.
He wants his brother to have the bachelor party of a lifetime, and he will do anything to do that.
Yeah.
You know, even put himself in danger. You know?
Yeah, he's got a buddy who will follow him anywhere. And he's got another friend that's very obviously, for lack of a better way of putting it, the nerd.
He's the nerdy guy that goes along with the crazy guys, but is constantly going like, should we do this?
Should we do that?
Yeah.
You know, very obviously based a little bit on the main character of Amateur Night.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but whereas in Amateur Night, the only sympathetic dude is that guy, even though he does dumb, fucked up shit. You're like, yeah, but you feel like it's like lack of judgment as opposed to pure assholery.
Well, you also feel like it's a little bit of like he's going along with his friends, and while that does kind of make him a part of it, you could tell he's not fully in sync with what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know, so it's...
Yeah, as opposed to the guy who just like is just like, oh well, this girl's available, I'm just gonna start fucking her.
Yeah.
You know, and
these guys aren't rapey.
Yeah, no, they're not rapey at all.
Unlike Amateur Night, they're not. Like these guys, they may be going to strip clubs, but they have a little bit of respect for women's agency.
Yeah. They're not there. They are not actually there to get laid. But they've kind of convinced themselves.
And that is one of their rules, you know, because it's his bachelor party. Like he's not getting laid, they're not getting laid.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So they set up that they've got this very, very solid limit, and part of the movie is watching whether or not how well they follow that.
Absolutely.
You know, there's a lot of addition to the mythology of the world that Lilly comes from.
Oh yeah. They introduced a whole lot of interesting things outside of Lilly too.
Yeah, there's a hint at a much greater world that this story takes place in.
To the point where, like, if they did a SiREN 2, I'd totally watch it.
Oh yeah, they could totally do another SiREN movie.
Absolutely.
You know, absolutely. There's sirens.
I don't know if you can hear that, but there'll be cops outside. Someone's busted. Because busted makes me feel good.
Okay, so we might as well at this point move on to spoilers.
All right, spoiler time.
Take me home tonight. I just want to show you the true light.
All right, so one of the things that happens at the beginning of the movie that kind of sets the tone is cop walks into a church and he's got Nix, the Tom Six whorehouse guy, in tow with him. He's very obviously some sort of occultist. And there are all these dead people all over the place. There's a summoning circle. And the cop goes, what the hell happened? What do you think these people are? Are they cultists? Satanists? And Nix just goes, amateurs.
That line. I was just like, oh my God, I'm so on board with this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, so he is very... at one point, one of the guys goes, what are you, a magician? Is this magic? And he just goes, fine. Call it magic. Whatever helps you, okay?
Call it magic, like you call all things you don't understand.
Yeah. Yeah, like, this character in many ways really is like evil cowboy Count Jackula.
Yeah, I was kind of getting that vibe. You know, he's totally like Satanist, cowboy Satanist dude.
Yeah.
He's great. Like,
he's a great character.
And he is essentially the main villain in this movie. Lilly is not the villain. She is...
Yeah, she's just the creature.
Yeah, she's the monster, but she's the sympathetic monster that's caught in between these two forces.
Yeah.
You know, like, the bad guy is this guy, Nix, and he... Oh my God, this movie would not be as good without that villain.
No, it wouldn't.
You know, it would totally be missing something.
Yeah. Because just having him there is really, really, really good, because like the entire time, like one of the things that's really interesting about that guy is, like a really good devil, he never lies.
No, he doesn't.
He never lies. He always tells the truth. The only way he lies is by not answering you.
Yep.
You know, and
he's got so many great moments. Like I like that moment where they're like going through the satanic sex club party strip joint thing.
Yeah.
And like he's like offering them all these like rooms of like mystical adventures inside. Like, what do you want? And one of them's like, our only rule is no sex. And he's just like, without a beat, just goes, do you mean the act or gender?
Sure. Yeah.
I was just like, God damn it, that's amazing.
Oh, in that case, follow me.
In that case, I got something just for you.
Yeah. You know, he does weird things where he's like, all right, you guys pay the ticket, you take the ride. And he goes off and they're all like, all right, what do we owe you? And he's like, sit down. Let's talk about this. And he's like, I want your favorite memory from your mother. And they're like, you want us to tell you about it? No, I want it. And the best part is, you won't know you're missing it, so you won't be missing it.
Yeah. And he has them like look at the floor, and then they wake up and they don't remember what just happened.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, well,
It's done.
David's done.
And then they later establish that like his assistant, like, oh god, did she have a name in the movie?
She, I know.
I don't know what her
she
name
doesn't
was.
have a name.
But there's this black girl with this like, is
she
it
has
pink?
a purple wig
Purple
on.
wig.
Yeah.
She has this purple wig on, and we eventually discover that when she takes off the wig, she's got these like leeches, so she's like Medusa.
Yeah.
But with leeches, and she takes the leeches out, puts them in the back of your neck, and it sucks out your memory. And she puts it in jars and then feeds it to people at the club, and they can feel that memory. And it's very obvious that some of the memories they've taken are quite awful, because one of them ends up drinking one called Murder and has a memory of some girl getting murdered.
Yeah, of him murdering some
Yeah.
girl, and he completely flips out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so while he gets in there, while the main character is in there, while his friends are having their memories sucked out, he sees Lilly. She's in a peekaboo, peep show box.
And this is how he gave him a good time without actually having sex, because she just implants memories of sex into him.
Yeah.
makes
She just seduces you, and
here's where the first edition with her comes in.
yeah, she sings.
Yes. So the SiREN in the title is accurate now. She is both a succubus and a SiREN.
Yeah.
Which I wasn't sure I felt like at first, but as it went on, I actually kind of liked the addition.
Yeah, it worked. Like it's a major part of the plot that she does this.
It's a little clunky the way the SiREN music is kind of edited into the movie, but
Yeah.
a little clunky. But
like you could tell you could really tell it's not the actress doing it.
yes, it doesn't look like the actress is singing it. It looks like it's just been layered on top of the movie.
Yeah.
But outside of that problem, it works in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. It's got, the movie's got some technical issues, but it worked as far as the story was concerned.
Almost definitely.
So as he leaves after she's like kind of done this to him, he realizes, don't leave, which are the first words he hears her say. And he realizes she's actually locked up in the peekaboo box.
Yeah, and when he realizes that, he's like, oh shit, this must be some sort of sex trafficking thing. We got to get her out of there.
Yeah, because before he leaves on this adventure, he talks to his fiance, and she's like, look, you could get a lap dance, you can see strippers, I don't care, just don't fuck anybody, and don't go to a strip joint where the girls don't want to be there.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's very much established that this is not that kind of guy.
Yeah, correct.
So he finds out that she's locked up, and it's just like, no, I gotta do something. And he's also high.
Yeah.
So he's not in the best judgment.
Yeah. So he's like, oh, no, I gotta do this. We're on adventure.
So he runs out and like gets his friend, and they go back in and they bust open the lock and they get her out. But she's got like this shackle on her leg.
Yeah.
And they end up getting confronted by one of the bouncers, and she steals the keys from the bouncer during the confrontation while his friend's fighting the bouncer, and unlocks herself, and that's when she's able to unleash her wings, her tail.
Yeah, that's when she's able to monster out.
Yeah,
and kill
and totally
things.
like murders one of the bouncers in front of him, and he freaks out and runs out.
Yeah, because why wouldn't you?
Yes. And so they try to book it and get the fuck away, but the monster grabs one of their friends because their friend was having a complete breakdown because of the drink he did, of the murder drink, and they don't know what's going on, but they just know that he's like obviously not all right. So they put their buddy's jacket on him, but she grabs him because he has the jacket.
Yeah, because she's tracking him by scent.
Yes, and presumably kills that friend, because I don't think we see him after
No,
that.
we don't see him again. He just disappears. She fucking drags him out of the moving vehicle.
Yes.
out of the car, just like.
At that point, the chase is on. Lilly or Lilith.
They properly established that her name is Lilith.
Yes, so she's Lilith. Is looking for him. He is trying to get away from her, and trying to get both of them is Nyx,
who wants Lilly back and is pissed that these guys have fucking allowed her to escape
and kidnap his friend.
The
one that helped him get her out, and tortures him, and then steals the memory of him getting tortured, so they can give it.
So he could send it to the main character, so he can talk to him.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like weird magical shit that this guy
But it all
does.
worked.
It did.
It all worked, and the internal logic of the movie was completely sound.
It was.
You know, like right down to the fact that they established that if you're wearing some sort of earplugs or something, the siren doesn't work. Even if you can slightly hear it, it doesn't work with earplugs in.
Yeah, you have to be able to hear all of it.
Which becomes important in the finale when the villain is wearing earplugs and then he takes them out because he can't hear someone and then he gets fucked over.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's really great. There's a whole lot of dynamite at the foot of the bed in this movie that's utilized really well.
Yeah.
This is actually a really good script.
Yeah, it is. It is. And it's also got the first fucking male rape victim scene I've seen in like probably since Deliverance.
It's been a while since I can recall one. There's probably one that was more recent that I'm just spacing out on, but this one was definitely a big one.
It's been a bit. We haven't seen one in a while.
She sirens him with the music so that he kind of gets put into a trance and then fucks him against his will. And that leads to one of the most glorious moments in the movie.
Yeah.
And is the moment where I forgave the CGI tail.
Yeah. All right. So turns out the CGI tail is somewhat amorphous.
Yes.
It can have a spike on the end of it, or it could be blunt.
And become a penis.
And become a penis that she uses to ram into his ass. Because she's gonna get everything.
God, I remember when I was like a teenager and I first discovered like fan porn and shit like that. And I remember running into Gargoyles fan art when I was a kid. And when I was a kid, I ran into the Gargoyles fan art, and one of the things they always liked to do in the Gargoyles fan art when it became pornographic was have the tail fuck.
Yeah, they do that. That happens.
And I was having flashbacks to that when she started doing that.
And it's a great scene because like she's on top of this guy. She's like,
she's having a great time. She's fucking.
He's just like, he's freaking out. And no, it's a great scene. It's gloriously excessive.
It's glorious. It is both a beautiful scene and an awful scene because he is being violated. But hey, she's happy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's great. The other thing, one of the things about this movie that I was really impressed with, full frontal.
Oh, yeah.
Full frontal, everything.
Now, one thing that should be noted is because of the shooting conditions of this movie, they had to...
She's wearing a fake cooch in some of the scenes.
And there were some scenes where I was looking at it, I was like, does she just not have genitalia? Well, obviously she does because she fucks.
Yeah.
But it was Jack found out why. It's because...
Yeah. Like in the scenes, like she's naked in almost every shot, but in the sex club scenes, you can see her bush.
Yeah.
But in the outdoor scenes, all of a sudden she's clean shaven. And the reason is because they had to do a Linnea Quigley on her, not because she wasn't willing to be naked, because she was, but because they were filming this in Louisiana in the middle of winter.
Yeah.
And
they
she
didn't want her to
was
freeze.
freezing.
And they did not want her to freeze, which is also why in some parts of the movie...
Yeah, because it's not just a Linnea Quigley thing. She's actually wearing like these flesh-colored tights.
Yes. Which is also why at certain points in the movie, she's like wearing like one of his shirts or something like that.
Yeah. Because originally she was just supposed to be naked the entire time, but the shooting conditions meant that they had to put her in.
And they found good workarounds because the clothes.
They did.
The smell on the clothes is what she uses to like track them. So like she smells it and then follows.
Yeah. Like, and you can tell that was an ad lib because
Yes.
that wasn't in the script, so that was an ad lib on the actress's part. And that
she is fantastic.
Like every fucking thing Hannah Fierman is in, she's the fucking star of the picture.
Yeah.
Even if she's not the star of the picture.
Yeah. And you have your hero is only as great as your villain, and Nyx is amazing. So you have like both Lilly and Nyx, and it's great.
Yeah, it totally does.
And the main character guy is actually like you actually care about him.
You do.
Like I didn't expect that.
You do. Like the scene where Nyx has to get the guy to put the chain back on her.
Oh God, and he does not want to.
He doesn't want to. And Nyx would do it himself, but he can't.
Yeah. She doesn't trust him.
Yeah, she won't let him get it close enough to use it.
And he's like, I don't want to betray her trust. Like, there's a part of him that cares about her despite all this.
Yeah, and the look that she gives him when he even tries is like, whoa.
That whole heartbroken look. Like, there's so many moments. Like, when she wakes up without him there.
Yeah. Well, like, she's like, they really upped the cat aspect of the character. Because when she's killing, she purrs. She purrs. And when she's like killing dudes, they keep that part of her where it's like, she's just like, yeah, I'm killing something. Oh, hey, I like you. purr, let me rub
Yeah, yeah.
against you. Like, you're the best. You're my favorite human.
And she's perfect as a seductress because I'm sitting there
Oh,
watching
yeah.
the movie going, like, she is not physically my type, but I would totally be all over that.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
she
Yeah.
is beautiful.
Yeah, she's really nice looking, like, even with the fucking makeup on.
Yeah.
And
Even with the makeup on.
Yeah. But just that attitude, like, it's very obvious. So this girl likes you, like, your heart just belongs to
Yes.
her, you know?
Yes.
So our hero, they do make it out. They kill Nix, or rather Lilly does. And
She throat rapes
she
him.
fucking, gets him with the tail. Like, it just goes right through him.
Yeah.
And, which was a really nice kind of, they have this, like, ongoing motif with the back of the neck because
Yes.
that's where the leeches go in that we mentioned earlier. There's
It's where
a
the tattoos
scar.
are.
Yeah, there's a tattoo that appears when you make a deal with him. This is how it's revealed that the cops in the town are all working for him.
Yeah, yeah. He's got everyone under his wing, which you kind of assume when the cops called him at the beginning of the movie, but you kind of forget by that point. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, I loved in the real quick. I loved in the torture sequence how you can tell he is just one of many guys that does this kind of thing because he starts like rattling off the names of potential rivals who could have sent these guys
Yes.
to take Lilly away from
Which
him.
once again expands this universe.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then when he realizes that they're not magicians, they're just 4 idiots.
Yeah.
He's kind of like, oh, like he's simultaneously relieved and disappointed.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, because on the one hand, all right, so I don't have to worry about this getting worse, but god damn it, 4 idiots just fucking walked in and did this. How the hell did that happen?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so here's the thing. Guy's trying to get back to his fiancée the whole time. He does. But here's the thing. Lily's not willing to take no for an answer.
Yep.
She breaks into his house while his wife is sleeping.
Sirens him.
Yeah, sirens him, sleeps with him, and then goes downstairs and is really obviously doing that. Should I kill her? Maybe I should kill her. I think I'll kill her. You know, like that's like the kind of calculation that's happening.
Yeah, yeah. And he
You
basically,
know?
like, in order to spare his girlfriend's life, goes with her.
Yeah, yeah. He's like, I'll go with you.
And that's the end of the movie.
Yeah,
Her
yeah,
flying
yeah.
off with him.
Yeah, she just picks him up. Her wings go, and she flies out the
And
window.
she flies off with him a couple times in this movie. They actually recreate the scene from Amateur Night where the guy gets picked up in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Early on in the movie, and like about halfway through.
Yeah, about the halfway mark.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically the film. It's a nice short. It's about a lean,
Yeah, it
90-minute
could have
movie.
used maybe like 10 more minutes. But
I would
like,
have actually been okay with it being
Absolutely.
10 more minutes. Usually,
But like,
if a
it doesn't
movie's-
overstay its welcome,
No, not at all.
and everything works.
Yeah,
within
I
it.
was really surprised. Like the only things that are really wrong with the movie is the CGI is a little weak when they use it.
It's not very obviously a low budget movie. Like there are parts where they're like doing like the car driving, where like it's like they obviously overcranked it to make it look like it's going faster than it is.
Yeah. You can tell they did the George Miller editing and the car crashes.
And some of it looks really cheap, but
Yeah.
you kind of forgive it because you're like, yeah, but like the story's really good.
Yeah, there are some times when you can tell that they wanted it to look like Lilly was moving faster than she was, and
Yes.
so like they removed frames, and sometimes that worked, and sometimes it didn't. Like in the bathroom scene, there's a really obvious. It's almost a jump cut.
Even
You know?
so, there's like some really interesting like set pieces in this. Like the
There are,
entire
yeah.
sequence when he's like running through that diner with the earpieces in.
Oh man,
And Lily's
yeah.
like rampaging through the diner.
Yeah, the sequence in the diner. That's probably the
It's
that's
like a
the
little-
action set piece of the movie.
It's like a
yeah.
little miniature Children of Men sequence, but
Yeah.
like with like the sound muted.
Yeah, because he's got the earplugs in so he doesn't
Yeah.
hear her singing, you know? Yeah, that was a really good sequence.
Yeah, so like even under their low budget, they have some really great stuff.
Yeah, they did quite a lot. They did a lot that was really, really good.
And I was worried that not making it found footage was going to take something away, but they actually made it work for this to not be found footage.
Yeah, they completely reworked the story and the movie, and so it completely works. I really don't know what else to say other than thumbs up.
I highly recommend SiREN. If you like Amateur Night, you're probably actually going to like SiREN despite the changes it makes.
Yeah, I did.
In fact, they're not even really like they're changes to the story, but in order to Lilly, they're more like additions.
it doesn't it doesn't really change anything. The only thing, it was we were talking, however, about like, well, what would we do for the end of this movie if we had done it? And we're like, well, if we had done this movie, what would have happened is she would have run into a city. She would have attacked a girl who's wearing a dress. She'd have cleaned herself up, put it on, walked into a bar, not quite sure what was going on, and then see the main characters from Amateur Night walking in.
And that would have been a great ending.
Yeah.
But I didn't mind the way it did end, because it's kind of this weird, like, she gets what she wants.
Yeah. You know, she gets what she wants.
Weirdly
she's
enough,
happy.
it kind of it's weird to make this comparison because the movies aren't that great, but it kind of reminded me of the end of Jeepers Creepers, where he gets the guy at the end.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that, but like, you know, this movie's a little bit better.
This movie's way better.
Yeah.
This movie's way better. The best part of Jeepers Creepers is really that duel sequence at the beginning.
Yeah. That's basically it. But yeah, it's a total, like, you know, Monster Girl wins in the end kind of story, you know.
You fall in love with the Monster Girl despite her raping people.
Yeah.
You know, like this movie is really good. It is definitely way better than I expected. And I think going in thinking it was going to be garbage made it even better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like like I said, Redbox. Having to go to a fucking Redbox did not feel like a good sign, but turned out it's completely unwarranted. It's actually a really good movie. So yeah, go to your fucking local Redbox.
Or if you happen to be in an area that has one of those two theaters, go see it there.
Yeah. And hey, I think with that, I think we're gonna sign off. SiREN, go see it, go check it out. Thumbs up. Greetings, Fright Nights and Monster Girls. Do you know who's sexy? People who donate on Patreon are sexy. And as a reward for your sexiness, you get to see all the uncensored versions of all the videos if you donate any amount. So donate now and join the Children of the Night and support fucked up movies.